Okay, so practice your vacuums, right? So normal, relaxed belly, flex, get that starting to show up. But you gotta practice the vacuum. So this is the washboard, and then the vacuum is pulling it back. So practice pull it back and squeeze up into the rib cage. Takes practice, takes building that stamina and endurance to be able to pull that in and up and extend, flex down into your washboard, start cutting all this out. Alright, so anyways, so now we're moving from the RDL into conventional deadlift. So we're going to go down to the floor, push some bigger plates, so we're not getting as deep of a stretch. So we're not going to be able to really round out the back and pull back in. So we're just going to kind of focus on doing a conventional deadlift from here out. And from here, we'll get up pretty heavy, pretty fast. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy heavy. We're not doing PRs today. We're training. We're training metabolically. We're training for stamina and endurance and hypertrophy, right? So, growth stimulus, both metabolically and in the muscle tissue. So looking for the biggest stretch, put that stretch in and get the muscle under tension. If you're at the bottom of your range of motion and relax, you're fucking up. Don't relax. Keep it under tension, let it stretch under tension and keep it engaged. Remember, it's the sudden onset of a load that causes stretch injury to connective tissue. Maintain tension. Squeeze the shit out of it isometrically if you have to. And we encourage that type of method. Squeeze. Everything tight. And I'm continuing to work out in a fasted state, really trying to stimulate the utilization of all remaining carbohydrates in the system, get into ketosis and get the fat going, and then I recover afterwards with plenty of carbohydrates to pump that back into the muscle, get volume and hydration to the body. But we don't want free-floating carbohydrate fuel in the bloodstream. That's what spikes glucose, insulin issues, all that kind of stuff, diabetes, right? No. Okay? So, an issue or a stress a short-term stress to the system is actually a good thing. It's recoverable, and we can build an adaptation to make ourselves stronger. It is when symptoms and issues become predominant and sustained over a long period of time that we go from having symptoms to some kind of diagnosable condition, and eventually this is a disease, disorder, right? So all of these things indicate that we're not really in harmony with ourselves, our body, mind, body, and spirit. Keep all of these things in good order and treat yourself well, even if no one else does. So, stay out of your ego, though, right? So, your body doesn't give a shit how much weight is on the bar. It really doesn't. That's why you can get big doing lightweight and high reps, or you can get big doing, heavier weights. The rep ranges vary. But what is important is that it gets to a point where it is a struggle, a difficult load for you to move over sustained repetitions, whatever number that is. 3, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 30. Shit, probably 50 or 100 fucking reps. Who knows? I don't know where the end range is to that. That they used to talk about overtraining. And yes, that's a thing. But it's relative. Right? So you can only overtrain relative to what you're used to training. If your body is able to recover from that training stimulus and also building adaptations by the time we're ready to hit that hard again, then guess what? You're not overtraining. You're fine. We become overtrained when you're not making any gains, and you may even start to regress a little bit. But that's also dependent on the cycle that you're in. So I'm in a cut phase, so I'm definitely not expecting to be as fucking strong as when I'm fat and full of energy and got plenty of strength to push behind the bar. So we press the strength and endurance weights, and hypertrophic weights, and metabolic weights, right? So you're still stretching the muscle, you're still pumping it, get that shit to stretch. Stretch. That is the key factor here. Stretch. So the metabolic stretch, we feel like the muscle's growing and the skin's gonna fucking rip open. Stretch. Stretch mark stretch. Or stretch in the range of motion. Change a few little things in the angle to give that particular degree or angle of muscle fiber a deeper stretch. That's why one range isn't really necessarily it, right? So it's where are you gonna hit it the most? Change a few degrees, especially when it's light, and then when it gets heavy, tone it down and work on power production, or production of force for strength, or power, depending on what movement you're doing, right? So like I said, Saturday and Sunday, we're doing power cleans and snatches, and so that's power movements. They're Olympic lifts, but they're power movements. It's power, so you're moving a load quickly, right? In an accelerated phase. So in Tucker method, we're mindful of doing that already in the concentric loading phase, concentric phase of contraction, however you want to say it. But when the muscle's shortening, right, we don't want to just go boom. We want to kind of like start slow and then come fast. Okay, so it's not the sudden jerk, which stresses connective tissue, right? So ligaments don't like to be stretched. Tendons don't like to be stretched. They get thin. That's called tendinosis, okay? So overloading those connective tissues is what really jeopardizes the joints, okay? So start with an intentional isometric contraction and then speed up as you close the angle of the joint, okay? All right. Or open the angle of the joint, whatever job that muscle is doing. So the muscle is contracting and shortening. So that is what we're looking at. Alright. Bing, bing, bing. Why did this stop? did I forget to mention? First Form now has microfactor in lemonade. That is so dope. I can't wait to try it. Hit me up for the link and I will send it to you. Okay? Lemonade. Can we say lemonade? Ah! 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 Come on, where you at? Ah! Still it really right. And a better that. Better that. What? Here comes the censorship, folks. Censorship, Jesus Christ, like you can't have a background playlist. Hash. We're gonna go right to it. Let me make a little bit of a jump here, because I already know I'm probably running out of time. What time is it? Yeah, 2:30, yep. Mind you, I have not eaten yet today. Again, fasted. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, going on 3 o'clock. I have not eaten solid food today. Make sure that your weights are supported so it doesn't tip. me the brothers on the block used to call me the Bud Shaman, Way of the Sun Collective. So we used to run cannabis collectives back in the day, and that was based in the medical model, not this recreational thing. So we stayed on with the health and fitness. Cannabis went recreational, so there's really no point in staying in the business. So, and those of you in the business know exactly what I'm saying. So, yeah. Good luck with that shit. Volume. Volume builds density, resilience, strength, consistency. Let's go. Mind you, I would not advise this for everybody. I've been a medical cannabis patient since I was very young. due to a lightning strike and seizure disorder as a result. So migraine, seizures, muscle spasms, central nervous system pretty much is fucking shot. And bam, my pops, God rest his soul, sat down with me and we played a game of chess and smoked a joint together, and it was like I was normal again. I felt great. So not really into high THC shit that's gonna just get you so stoned. Build up the tolerance, okay? You should take a puff, put it out, okay? What do you call micro-dosing, right? So just microdose. I've been over 30 years, 35 years, pretty much a medical cannabis patient of some sort, experimental, recreational, state, federal programs. Back then, nobody knew what the fuck to do for you if you had gotten hit by lightning. I've been bit by rattlesnakes. I've been like a bunch of times. Okay, too many. And I'm sorry for those that were with me at the time and may have gotten stressed over that. But I love you for being there. And that's all we can do. Love you always. Okay. So, from a therapeutic perspective, looking up, looking down, knees in, knees out, rotate, tuck your butt, squeeze your tummy, lift your back, like all these different cues come to the different individuals that need them to assume the correct posture to be able to effectively move the load. That being said, if you need to look up for you to flatten out your back and be able to drop those shoulders down, then that's what I'm gonna fucking tell you. Look up. If you hyperextend your back, I'm not gonna fucking tell you to look up. I'm gonna tell you to look down, because then that's gonna actually straighten your back. So, for those of you out there trolling and just want to smash on what people say, figure out what their individual situation is and why that particular approach is being prescribed for that individual. Don't be so quick to tell somebody that they're doing something wrong. Okay? And this comes with mostly, I would say, beginning and intermediate lifters who are in their ego. Beginners oftentimes, because they're trying to explain it to the point where they understand it themselves, so they're trying to kind of self-talk a little bit about what they've learned about their own issues, which is good. They're sharing the information, but they're doing it from a place of authority, which is not necessarily respecting the relationship. Intermediate lifters are probably doing this from a place of ego because they think they do know. But you advanced coaches and athletes and therapists and doctors and whoever else out there actually has a little bit more advanced knowledge may understand what I'm saying. Is that that the prompt depends on the individual's habitual compensations and what they're doing to place them out of a correct position to be able to safely do the lift. So that's probably going to look and sound a lot different for everyone. Okay? So even if you have similar compensations, okay, sometimes the same cue is not effective for two individuals even with the same compensation, because the reason that they are compensating could be different. Okay? So let's be mindful and think about how we approach others and try and help them and not, be authoritarian about it. Ask some questions, find out what they're trying to do. Ask some thought-provoking questions. I think some of the best things to do is to actually stimulate a person's critical thinking and problem-solving skills, because most of you know the answer. If we have a reasonable conversation about a topic, you will understand and you will know the answer if you just ask yourself. Or if I ask you, then like to actually think about it instead of being defensive. Okay? So yeah, any of those kinds of questions are not really to be offensive, but rather to offer some additional insight for consideration. You may not vibe with it and it may not fit your specific need, but it's information nonetheless. Oh, shit. Okay. Let's do this. Definitely need more water. Water. Shit ton of water. So last week we went really heavy with some extra volume compared to now. So fatigue and soreness and all that stretch comes a little bit sooner. We don't have to get as heavy. And then so as we train out towards the cycle, you tend to lessen the weight, increase volume, and just keep pushing intensity. And then you get to a point where you can deload and have some extra calories, and boom, just like over 2 days, you gain a shit ton of muscle and volume. And lose a bunch of fat at the same time. So these are little small periods of what's called recomposition, where you go through a phase of building muscle and losing fat simultaneously, right? Which, I mean, you're kind of doing that all the time anyway. But when you get to a certain point of being lean, man, building that muscle takes a lot of energy. So give yourself some time, every 4 or 8 weeks or something, just to kind of deload a day or two, where you actually just don't train, right? You just stay inactive, don't train, go on a hike or something. And man, the rebound off of that is just fucking fantastic. Then you start your heavy cycle all over again. That shit again. So rather than keep going up in weight and trying to fail out heavy, we're just doing volume sets here. So it's still only 5 reps. But man, I'm already feeling it. It's not going to be long before I'm just like done. Metabolically stimulated, well over an hour of working out. Toasted already from doing the RDLs, or straight-legged deadlifts, top down. And then so an open chain versus closed chain kinetic movements, right? If you're studying for any of this shit. So, yeah. And did some cool downs and shit earlier on the cables at the office. Really work on pulling the shoulders down, okay? So even if that means like rotating forward a little bit and then pulling down, some of us are rotated too far out to be able to really get down. So you gotta pull it in, down, back, right? Play with all these angles and feel where it's actually nice and doesn't produce pain, and then just like work that track and make that the normal track, and there's no pain there, and then start to loosen that shit up. But if we're going and pushing too far beyond where our natural stopping point is, then that can lead to a pinching sensation as well. So my abs are just like. So when you lift something heavy, you do strain your abs. And I also worked my core earlier doing leg lifts. So when you lift something heavy or move your extremity, your core has to cinch in and tighten around the spine in order to stabilize the spine from jostling around. So when we lift heavy, that same thing has to happen. So that's why we're so intent on really squeezing the core, having good core strength. Because when you do get to lifting heavy, you really gotta fucking squeeze it down. Okay? Stay the fuck up out my business. For everybody else out there that wants to be all up in my fucking business, manipulating shit, relationships. Whew. Man, I'm telling you. Keep your circle small, folks, because you let too many people in your circle and they sabotage your home. not on with the program, you can get the fuck off the bus. The yacht, the airplane, I'll give you a fucking parachute. Or not. Where's monkey bitch? Yeah. Drinking breast monkey. Not even on the couch. We probably been off the whole motherfucking video. Monkey. Hey man, I'm done. Fatigued out, muscles are sore. Already sore. And I'm on my anti-inflammatory. Get that protein shake in as soon as you're done. You need that protein, carbs, all that shit. You need it right now. Right now, and then go make something to eat. Yeah. Eat now. I've been fasting all day. Eat now. Pump that shit into the muscle.